Hello, Dee Tozer, back again with the Couples HQ Daily Podcast. Thanks for joining. Yesterday, I spoke about keeping romance alive. And I think it's really important. I'll just do a quick recap on that. And that's about 3, I say, or 2, at least 2, daily touch points, comfort points, where you feel very warm with each other, even if there's been a tiff, even if there's been some sort of little annoying argument that's happened, something like that. So today I wanted to talk about, what about if it's pretty well gone, that romance? You just don't have it at all now. Desire's gone, we don't do anything nice together. In fact, if one suggests it, the other one might even huff and puff and go, oh, I don't want to, or why haven't you suggested it before, or some sort of recriminatory response to that. So how do you rekindle it without a map? So what I'm talking about here is the map, and it's actually only 2 parts, the map. So because we want to go from A, no warmth, no romance, to B, rekindled romance. And in between that is a wobbly road, and you're going to test and try. We're going to test and try what would happen if. So it's what would happen if I didn't bite back when he or she, when my loved one said, why did you put that there? Or you said you were coming home at. What would happen if I said, I know, I'm sorry about that. I should have been more on it. Or what would happen if you said to yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen if I show some warmth? Even in the middle of some tension, if I go and put my arm around her or him and just say, it's okay, babe. It's all right, we'll work it through. It's not the end of the earth. We've got a few other things going on. Let's have a kiss and make up, or let's have just a hug or a touch. That is how you rekindle romance, at those little micro levels. And yes, all the date nights, we read all about all of that. Of course they're important. They're very important. Then we go into, what do people talk about on the date nights? Because that's another topic for another podcast. I'll give you a hint here, a little clue here. They talk about the problems at home, or the problems between them, or their friends that have got problems, or the problems at work. Yeah. The conversation is not one, usually, that encourages warm emotional connection, comfort and certainty together, reviving romance. It may do for some people. However, I'm at the witness end of so many people's conversations that don't go like that when they do their date nights. And then there's everything else to go and do together, or lots of togetherness things. Do they work for reviving romance? Not necessarily. They don't. Romance to be revived needs clear-cut determination to revive it. It needs determination and absolute commitment to it. So the 2 parts are romance not active, not there, not present, to romance present, has in this wobbly trail, has 2 words in it, determination and commitment. Yes, because otherwise we are holding on inside, usually to quite a pile of deep grudge sludge, I call it. You will have heard that a lot by now, which I call is emotional quicksand building up from huge resentment, of feeling not wanted, of feeling rejected. All of that happens when we don't intentionally rebuild or romance or keep it alive, or we don't commit to rebuilding it. They're the 2 key points. And you're probably thinking, well, Dee, tell us how we're going to commit and how we are. Well, we're going to do 2 or 3 comfort, warm, emotional things, moments a day. Not waiting for Friday night's date night and then all the problems and then it gets put off again. How many times do I hear that? Can't get the babysitter. The kids, something's on at school. Some work thing comes up. How often I hear that? It doesn't take a priority. What we have to do is prioritise 3 moments a day. 3, and the other word I'm adding on to the end of this episode is tenderness. To add tenderness into your touch, tenderness into your words, tenderness into your movements around each other at those times of the day. All right? That's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to end this podcast there. Dee Tozer, signing off.